I'd love to pick your brain forever, but we've only got an hour. Come here while I thumb this pillow in your bum.
Sexual exploration and the sort of body acceptance and stuff fed into the BDSM, which fed into the escorting, and then ethical non-monogamy. This guy thinks I'm worthy of fingering, which is awful thinking back now. Poor little 15-year-old me shouldn't have even been in that fucking club with those adult men. He wanted me to have sex with him on his prayer mat and say awful things about Allah and his mum. He wants to be a puppy for an afternoon.
Puppy?
Yeah, so
right,
he's going to be naked, he's going to wear a little butt plug, we're going to play fetch.
Do you stick a metal rod in this cock and electrocute it?
Make love to your arsehole, or do you want to be fucking pegged?
Do you want to be fucking pegged?
Yeah. And now my cock's fallen off.
You're not the fairy knob mother.
You can't wash behind your foreskin. Go to a fucking doctor.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Crying in the DMs. Today I have delved deeper than ever before into the land that is sex work. When we say sex work, we think woman on the corner or young hottie, insta baddie on OnlyFans. I'll tell you, there is a whole industry that we fail to unpick because of how sociologically and economically we have seen these changes so rife in today's society. I'm here today with a lady who puts the fucking do in Dominatrix. And Rachel, it's lovely to have you on here today. It's fantastic. I think what people are going to be most interested to find out from you today is, how the fuck did you get into Dominatrixing?
Long story. Let's do the long story because that's exciting. So, long story. When I had my kids, it was fucking amazing. I found the pregnancy and the birth really empowering.
Yeah.
And I'd always had body issues and I knew I was never going to win a marathon or climb a mountain. I was like, but I can fucking make people. This is amazing.
You can make people what?
And this is amazing. I can make people.
Oh, you can create people.
Pregnancy, yeah.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
So from there, I was like, fucking let's see what else I can do. And me and my partner at the time started exploring BDSM.
Okay.
Had an open relationship for a little bit. That ended, but then I was in this kind of BDSM, very sexually liberating world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, my body can also have multiple orgasms and do all these fucking amazing things.
Wow, yeah.
And then from there, kind of the psychology behind it all, the escapism of a lot of kinky sex, kind of got really interested in that. Went to a lot of parties, met a dominatrix, and she kind of mentored me a little bit. There's a lot of hands-on things that can be quite dangerous, quite risky, you want to be experienced, you want to know what you're doing.
What's the most dangerous thing you've done?
The most shocking thing I've done is probably what we call urethral sounding.
What?
So a metal rod down the penis, and then I electrocute that with something similar to a TENS machine, but made for sex. So it stimulates the prostate.
This is going to be amazing. This episode's mega. So you stick a metal rod in this cock and electrocute it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And he pays you for that?
Yes. I make more than I would in a day on minimum wage in an hour. So,
fair enough.
And more than that. But yeah.
How long does the average client?
An hour or two.
An hour or two?
Yeah.
They get electrocuted for an hour or two?
Yeah, yeah. And there's a build up and then there's a wind down.
Okay.
There's a safety talk at the end. There's a...
Like when you're on an aeroplane?
Kind of, yeah. I'm like, these are the risks. You need to know what you're consenting to.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do things that your body might not have experienced before. You need to know what might happen during, what might happen after. Can I trust you to go to the hospital and get shit sorted if things go wrong?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because I don't want to then have
You
my
can't take him to the hospital either, can you?
Well, I would. If it was an emergency, it's my job to keep people safe to an extent.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to leave someone, but I don't want someone to then go away and be like, oh, I've seen... work name, she did this thing and now my cock's fallen off. It's very unlikely, but if something was to go wrong, I want to know that I've had that talk beforehand. Do you understand the risks?
So that's like any other job, isn't it? You've got the risk assessment.
Yeah. It's apart from the actual hands or bodies on bodies, it's admin, you're promoting yourself, you're doing your taxes, you're managing your schedule, you're doing your risk assessment.
It's the oldest female
venues.
career, isn't it? It really is the oldest female career.
And it's one of the few where women are...
dominating.
Yeah, and literally.
Literally.
And making a shitload more than men. Which I like. I don't want to be working for someone else on minimum wage. Not when I can make that in a few hours.
I get it. I totally get it. Do you ever feel like it's getting to the point where someone's asked you to do something that's disrespecting you?
I have limits. Some people are into race play. So
What's race play?
Race play, you just kind of it's generally a bit of humiliation kink.
Oh.
So they might fetishize a certain race or want to indulge in that. And I will, if it was a regular client, I would indulge in that if he saw me as a mixed race and black presenting woman.
Mm-hmm.
If that was in a dominant role and he wanted to be a submissive little white boy, then I'd indulge that, but I wouldn't allow someone to treat me as a mixed race or black slave or anything, because that's beyond.
Yeah,
and
no,
I can
thanks.
understand the psychology behind that, and if
Doesn't
people
make it
want to
right.
do that in their private lives, then that's on them if everyone's consenting, but it's not something I want to do, engage in, or profit off.
Mega.
Yeah.
Good. Have you ever had a client that halfway through you thought, nah?
There's been things where they've asked for something and I'm like, this isn't going to work with your body, or I'm not comfortable. Pegging is a big thing.
Pegging?
Yeah, so strap on, guys are.
Oh, no, I know what pegging is. You're right.
But just for the people out there that maybe are a little bit more vanilla, if I can tell they've not made an effort to clean, then I will not continue that, because, I'm getting paid, but also like...
How do they clean? Is that the douche and stuff?
Douching, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's an arsehole, like, it's where poo is.
It's
Poo
an
comes out of
arsehole.
it. But you've got to be respectful of, like, you won't go and get your hair cut if you were minging, or you won't go and engage in another service without taking those steps to make someone comfortable.
Prepping.
Yeah. So
Prepping for the pegging.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's such an interesting choice of career to make, especially because I know no one watching is in the room with you, but you have such an like a energy about you when you're in the room with you. You know that you own your shit.
But it's been a real process. Like, I have been sexually active since like 14ish, and I think my approach to sex back then was definitely, sex is about the guy. If I have sex with this guy, he might like me, and are things that I think a lot of young women experience and maybe don't prioritise their pleasure in the same way. And then as you get older and you learn a bit about your body a bit more and get that confidence, you can kind of work with that, make it work for you. And
Do you think this personality you've got right now, do you think it's a persona?
I don't know, maybe. I do think there's things in life that maybe made me more open-minded and accepting of things that I perhaps wouldn't have done.
You know another word for open-minded? I mean, easy.
Easy. I wouldn't say that, because I'm not just open-minded sexually.
No, I get that, right? Easy to please.
Oh.
Easily pleased, right? If you stood for nothing at some point in your life because you felt like you had to stand for nothing, right? Because if no one was standing on you, they weren't even recognising you were there, then you can go the other way and go, now I stand for this. And I believe this is empowering me.
Yeah.
But in some ways, just because you give something to someone gives you no more empowerment than them taking it.
No.
Because the end result is still the same. Is that not the case?
I think perhaps when I look back at previous periods in my life where I've been quite easy, not so easy to please, but sexually promiscuous, but now it pays my bills. So I'm not kind of giving in the way that I was in my late teens, early 20s. I want this guy to like me. What if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do this? Now it's like, I can provide these things.
Provide this service that they will enjoy.
But I will leave this with my money. I don't have to leave it with your admiration or your approval or your wanting to like me.
So it's still reciprocation, just differently?
Yeah, it's transactional.
So
100%.
Do you reckon it's always been transactional?
I think so, because
how's it any different?
Because now it's... So as a late teens, early 20s, I'd say it was transactional in that if I got this guy to like me, if I did this, did that, dressed a certain way, I'd have his approval, attention.
Do you dress up now as a dominatrix?
Yeah, I've got like a work
in the way that
box.
they like it to be?
Potentially. If it's a regular and I know they enjoy a certain thing, then I'll indulge that. If it's not, or if they ask for something and it's not respectful, no, I'm not doing it. So it is transactional. I think sex for most people is transactional.
You think?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
100%.
Why do you reckon that?
Because there's plenty, especially women, who are having sex because it gives them the emotional connection or
There's
something.
a hidden agenda behind the sex. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think most of the sex is, I fancy you and I'm horny, let's have sex.
Okay.
Not all the time.
Okay.
I think sometimes it's, well, he's my partner, I want to make him happy. Or it's the things that I mentioned earlier, like your young sex. I think especially like late 90s, early 2000s, it was very, what I saw was that sex was for men. Women sometimes orgasm, but it was just never a main thing. Female sex toys weren't.
So it was still a commodity then? It was still something that you give to someone to get something in return?
Yeah. But isn't that all jobs?
Yes. If I woke you up tomorrow, right, and said you've got everything sorted in your life, are you still doing that job?
No, but I won't do any job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I feel like I'm jumping ahead, aren't I?
No, you're good, you're fine. You carry on. You lead the interview by all means. I don't give a shit, right? So you wouldn't do any job?
No.
So what would you do?
I do volunteering. I do things that are more emotionally fulfilling.
Okay.
And I'd do it on my time schedule. And I'd have the benefits of like, just what everyone wants, that freedom, not having to think about childcare. I mean, childcare is not a big thing for me because I don't work a 40-hour week. But yeah, no one would be getting up, and I don't think there's anyone that would really get up, go to their same job in the same way if they weren't getting paid.
I would.
In the exact same way?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're very lucky.
I really would, right?
Okay.
That's the point I'm trying to make, right? If you work a job because it provides a commodity to you, right? If that commodity is taken away, you won't do it. If you work a job because it's really healing you in the way that you believe it is, you'd still do it.
I mean, I still have sex.
Get that, right?
But
You said
some of those people.
it provides you now because when you were younger, you had no control over it, right? And you were giving sex away because you wanted people to like you. Now, you say it empowers you. If it empowered you as much as it did, you'd do it even without the money.
Maybe the bits that I find empowering aren't specifically linked to the transactional bit.
What bits do you find most empowering?
The financial side of it. So being able to earn that money without a boss telling me you need to be here this day, that day. No,
That's the freedom aspect
yeah,
of
so
things.
the freedom, financial freedom. It's a fucking confidence boost to know that someone has picked you, they want to spend time with you, they're going to invest that money with you. That makes me feel nice in myself.
Is that the same as when you were 14?
It's similar. And I do definitely think that if I didn't have that approach to sex, then maybe I wouldn't be here now.
What do you reckon you'd be doing instead? If you didn't do this job, what would you be doing?
I would say before this, I did care work. I was a poker dealer for a while, and I was training to be a midwife. So probably one of them.
Yeah.
You've
always been in the community, helping in some respect.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this is like a community service job as well?
I think people get a lot more from it than just sex.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you find that you're like an agony aunt?
Yeah, there's levels of, I think people sometimes just want to unload loads of trauma onto you. Sometimes they just want someone to listen about their day at work. There's a lot more to it than just sex. There's a lot of companionship and connection to an extent.
How much do you reckon you can connect before they go weird?
I don't think I could give like a straight answer to that. I'm fairly guarded in how much of my real life I share with clients.
If any, I suppose, because what would be the point in the fake name and the wig and all the rest of it to then tell them about your day?
Yeah, so there's some bits that I'm open, like I'm really into like stargazing. Fucking love that. I'll drive to some dark sky bit and look at the skies. I'll tell people about that because that's not
personal.
No,
like, yeah.
But I'm not going to go into stuff about
not
like,
identification
family.
Personal.
No, but I'm very open about my work, like here on camera. My friends and family know what I do.
Has there ever been a time where you thought, shit, this client's gone weird? Like they've gone too weird. It's border on.
Do you mean weird as in like in between sessions, kind of wanting a lot of contact?
So
and
I
stuff?
should probably, has there ever been a time where a client has overstepped the boundaries and it feels like they think they're in a relationship with you?
Not so much a relationship, but I think people forget that outside of work, outside of that hour or two that someone's booked me for, they don't have a space in my life. So someone saw me in Tesco and messaged me to tell me they've seen me in Tesco. Don't tell me you've seen me in Tesco.
Walk on.
Because work persona doesn't fucking go to Tesco. And I don't want to know, not that I don't want to know, but what am I going to do with that?
It's like an overlap.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you compartmentalise work when you're not in the room.
Yeah.
So, if it's an important question, you know. I feel silly asking you because I feel like you'll know the answers to the question straight away. It seems like a stupid question. But would you say that people take the physical intimacy and confuse it for emotional intimacy then?
I don't think so.
If they're texting you outside of the hour.
I don't think that's physical intimacy though. I think that's because in an hour, we're not having sex for an hour. We're having sex for about 20 minutes.
Is that not physical intimacy, having sex even for 20 minutes?
No, but I mean, outside of that 20 minutes, there's 40 minutes where I'm listening to their day and they feel like the most special person in the world. And I think it's that carries over a little bit more rather than the actual
rather than
fucking
sex, yeah. So it's you having the emotional capacity to hold them for the next 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they get out of that room. But I mean, people do that with therapists as well. You know, I myself have had experiences where I've had to be like, really sorry, but this is something you have to take elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very, as you know, very open as a coach, and I will talk to people about whatever. But when it gets to like 11 o'clock at night and I'm getting called up because now you're on the piss, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any partners of clients get in touch?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
Only the ones I've met.
What?
Yeah, so there's been a couple.
Dig. Go on.
So there's, it's primarily male clients, but there has been a male-female couple that came for her birthday.
What?
Yeah, she wanted to try it with a woman, and they were like, let's find an escort. Instead of that kind of messy thing of like, I want to fuck your friend, or like trying to go out and pull
you're going to break the interludes between friendships. Yeah.
They were like, well, let's get someone separate, and I guess they went through and picked me. I've got a regular male client who brought his wife along for a session.
Okay.
She wanted to explore some bits.
Was she awkward at first?
She was nervous. So they've got a quite open relationship. He travels for work. She knows that he sees escorts and dominatrixes outside of the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Do they have dominatrix sex at home then?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I would have had to ask.
No.
But I'm a nosy cunt. It's good job I do my job, not yours, innit? I'd be like that. So does your wife does this?
No, I'm just like, how much do I want to know, really, in some cases?
Yeah.
And then there was another couple, male-female couple, and they take it in turns. Every month they book a different escort, sometimes male, sometimes female, take it in turns to choose and just get their rocks off having a monthly threesome.
Fucking fair play.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a client that you know is married?
Yeah.
And does it ever make you feel bad?
Not really. I think in this situation, if they're not booking me, they're booking someone else. And they're not booking me for me. I'm not having an affair. I'm having transactional sex.
Are they not having an affair? Even if you're not, are they not?
I don't think so, because she's not real. The person that they're seeing, she doesn't exist. So how can you have an affair?
She's you.
Yeah, but only in that little bubble. Like, when I leave the room, what are they? They're only pining for this version they've seen in there. I think if I thought someone was, I don't know, like, going to rock up and be like, I've left my wife here, then I would absolutely just block the number and never see them again.
So that's where you draw the line. If you feel like they've gotten too emotionally attached, you've got to block.
Or even just if they start expecting too much, some people will be like, well, I've seen you twice, so this third time should be like, you should be more giving, or I want a bit of a discount, or people
a bit of a discount? Really?
Yeah. Or people that, like, there was one guy who was great. He used to book, bless him, every 3 or 4 days.
Is he dead?
No, he's not dead. I mean, he might be dead.
Sorry, just checking. Sorry.
Oh, no. But then he would get really funny if I didn't text back, if I didn't reply quickly. And I reply when I look at my phone. I don't have set hours.
Yeah.
I fit it around me because it's such a flexible job.
Yeah.
And he was like, you've not texted me back. So I just blocked him. You're paying me the same as another person, so why would I allow you to be in my head, to be nagging me, to drain me?
Why are you trying to have boyfriend rights?
Yeah.
Not even good boyfriend rights. You're trying to have toxic boyfriend rights.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to I don't want anyone that'd be like, you don't text me back. So absolutely not some guy who's
just wants to wank.
Wow.
Yeah. That's so, it's so strange to hear someone talk about sex as a role, but I think that's because I was the same as you growing up. I would let anyone finger me.
Because if it made you, I was at school, I was a right munter. I had a wet look perm, big glasses.
Fuck off.
No one fancied me at school. Any guy that did show me a bit of attention in
Did
a
you love him
nightclub
straight
or
away?
whatever, I didn't love him.
Was it that real, like, fantasy? Did you have limerence with everyone?
No, it was more, sounds really bad, but I was like, this guy thinks I'm worthy of fingering, which is awful thinking back now. poor little like 15-year-old me
Yeah.
shouldn't have even been in that fucking club with those adult men.
No. That's assault.
It is, yeah. And if I could, I mean, if I knew any of their names, I'd track them down. But yeah, there was a lot of...
I think sometimes you're dominating these blokes now to like get revenge on them, like subconsciously for the young you that was dominated before she knew what strength looked like.
I don't think it's revenge. I think it's reclaiming, maybe a little bit.
You're making them come though, so it's not really reclaiming because they're getting off to it.
Yeah, but that's just a byproduct, isn't it, of
Is it?
sex? Yeah.
Is it?
It's not the goal. I don't. It's
What's
not
the goal?
always the goal.
What's the goal?
The goal in sex. I mean, it depends, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. But you said
so
it. What's the goal?
For me, the goal is to provide a good experience and have them book again in work.
Yeah. In work. What about not in work?
Not in work.
What is the goal for sex when
in
you're
sex,
not in work?
It varies.
Okay.
If it's because I'm horny, then it's pleasure and an orgasm.
So the end goal is
Sometimes.
coming.
Sometimes. But it might be that I'm not particularly horny, but maybe I'm in a relationship and the guy is horny and I'm happy to have sex with him because it's the connection. And
So wasn't that what you were saying before about it being a commodity? That sometimes people have sex with their boyfriends because they want to make them happy and they want to keep that connection going.
yeah, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as like it's a commodity. Like most people don't have an orgasm. Most women, I don't think, in my knowledge, have an orgasm every time they have sex. I think is fair to say. But a lot of women wouldn't then not have sex because they're not going to have an orgasm.
No, because they're pleasing the partner rather than themselves.
But also it can feel nice to be intimate with someone without an orgasm.
There's a difference between intimacy and intensity though, isn't there? If you have to be naked and close to someone and sometimes even inside someone to feel like you're getting fully intimate, that is not intimacy, that's intensity. The energy's just completely without, it's intense. Same as when you're bumming someone's fucking head in, that's not intimacy, that's intensity, right? Whenever the adrenaline's up, whenever your dopamine's up, whenever everything's heightened, that's intensity, that's not intimacy. Intimacy's slow, isn't it? Intimacy is knowing someone completely through and through, even whether they've got the clothes on, they've got the clothes off, or there's a peg in, what you call it, dildo, strap on, that's the one, or whether there's a gimp mask. It doesn't really matter what's in the room. If the intimacy of your job won't be the sex, will it? It's the talking to them afterwards. That's like when we said before, what do they go weird on? What do they get hung up on? It's the talking. So when you're saying, well, sometimes I want to have sex for the cum and sometimes I want to have sex because, I want that intimacy, doesn't that come straight back to being 14 again?
I think the intimacy, intensity thing, it doesn't seem that black and white, maybe.
It's not. Nothing's black and white, though.
No.
We live in a mad world where it's run by pedos. Nothing's fucking black and white, is it anymore?
No, it's fucking not. No.
But the intimacy, intensity, it's not black and white. Of course, there's a spectrum. But at what point does your choice get taken away when you're choosing something to benefit someone else? Anything that isn't to your own benefit, right, at any point, is to your detriment of some extent. Again, that in itself is a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that doesn't make you a better person makes you a worse person to some extent. Be that completely matter of fact, turning you into a cunt, or just distracting you from staying online with where you wanted to be getting.
Yep.
Again, it's all a spectrum. But when would you say the intensity in work stops? It sounds like it makes its way home sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, there's definitely times I come out of work and I'm horny and I want to go fuck someone.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Or
why didn't you just do it in work?
because
That person just ate the one.
sometimes it's like the act of what I'm doing, like
Yeah.
the putting shit down people's penises and electrocuting. I fucking find that a turn on. But yeah, it's a
Really?
yeah, because there's an element of trust. I like the reactions I get from it.
Okay.
Um,
How raw and authentic they are in that moment.
yeah, and
The intimacy.
yeah,
There you go.
yes, an intimacy. So I guess sometimes I take that intimacy
Yeah.
elsewhere, and it becomes
Intensity.
intensity
Yeah.
with a foot buddy or something. Yeah.
Instead of maybe just doing that with... Could you do that with a normal partner? Could you have like a normal everyday partner and stick a metal rod up his cock?
I mean, there's people in my personal life that enjoy that. I don't date to have... my relationship approach is also quite unusual.
Okay, go on.
Um,
You're such an interesting bird, you know.
in a good way.
Yeah, no, definitely in a good way.
So
1000% in a good
yeah.
way. So what is your view on relationships then? What is that?
I think that monogamy is not for everyone. I think most people aren't monogamous. However, most people aren't open about that. So
Okay.
I practice ethical non-monogamy.
Okay.
Which for me, I have 2 rules in dating. One is that I don't want anything serious enough that I will live with someone or they will meet my kids. So that's like a...
Okay, boundary, yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going to spend Christmas together. We're not going to have family holidays and stuff because...
So you're cancelling out the intimacy?
But there can still be intimacy without going on holiday with someone.
No, I get that, but meeting your kids, all that sort of stuff, that's super important.
But that's not part of... For me, my romantic life and family life are fairly separate.
Okay, yeah.
And my sexual life is also separate.
Mm-hmm.
So my family home setup thing,
Yeah.
I co-parent really well with the kids' dad.
Yeah.
We do Christmas and just spend a lot of time together as a family unit.
Oh, amazing.
And then outside of that, but I don't want someone in my house.
Okay.
I don't want someone moving in with my house or building a life that gets very entwined with someone. I'm fairly selfish, I think.
I'd say protective, probably traumatised.
Oh, definitely traumatised.
Yeah.
I mean, we're slowly unpicking things.
Mm.
But I don't think monogamy is for most people. I think relationships can be amazing, but they don't have to last forever.
Mm.
I think someone can come into your life, whether for a night, whether for a few weeks, whether for a few years, and just because it ends, it doesn't mean it's failed.
Oh, that's a really beautiful sentiment.
Yeah. And I've met amazing people and had great experiences sexually, intimately, romantically, just being in places with good people. And then life happens and I might not see them again, and that's okay. Like, I don't feel...
So why do they have to overlap?
Why do they have to overlap?
Yeah. So you said you practice ethical non-monogamy.
Yep.
So all these beautiful experiences you have with people, why do they have to overlap? Why can't we finish with one thing and let it go before we start the next?
I don't have loads of partners at once, but
Okay.
I do get different things from different partners when I have had multiple partners.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it for me, I'm not looking to have 4 boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I like to... You just get different things from different people. In the same way, different friends can provide different connection.
Yeah.
I think the same can be said for romantic and or sexual partners.
Mm.
And as long as everyone knows about everything,
Yeah.
then there's no wrong way to have a relationship.
Wow, that's
So-
blowing my head off a bit, you know.
I think I skipped my second rule of dating. So one is that no one will meet the kids. There won't be that enmeshment of life
Mm-hmm.
in a very practical sense.
Yeah.
And the other one is that I maintain my sexual autonomy. So for some ethically non-monogamous or polyamorous people, they'll have rules of like, you can date this person, but I want to meet them. Or for some people, it might be you can only date people of the same gender or opposite gender. Or there's things to communicate with people.
Boundaries across the stepped boundaries.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's for everyone. Like I said, there's no wrong way to have a relationship. But for me, I don't want to have to check in with someone. I don't want to have to tell someone, oh, I met this guy.
But it's that freedom thing again. Yeah.
And I think, in a way, maybe it is. It's obviously your life is influenced by everything that's happened before.
Yeah, 100%. We're all one big fucking metamorphosis.
Yeah. There's a thing about like being a mosaic of all the people you've met before.
Love that. Well,
Which
my
I quite
mosaic's probably got the clap.
Yeah, so I think the way that romantic relationships are presented to us doesn't always work for everyone, and that's okay. You hear more about women choosing to stay single, people living in a more community focused way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is more for me.
When we are encouraged to expand our inner circle, right, into, like, as you say, community encouragement, things like that, but that comes from the scarcity effect. Because a lot of the time, when we're encouraged to expand ourselves, okay, to add to ourselves in any way, you know, when we're encouraged to add to ourselves in terms of make more people in our clique, that does come from a place of fight or flight, doesn't it? Like, I don't want to be alone because being alone means not more chance of dying because that's where the brain jumps to every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then is that why people find a monogamous partner and stick with them? Because they've got this person.
Yeah, same
Whereas
thing, same
if
concept.
you've got a wider group of people who fulfill you in different ways, I feel like you've then
stopped yourself from having to go out and search for that all in one person. Do you believe you can find it in one person?
I don't think anyone can.
You ever had someone that you loved more than anything, then they just left?
Not left. I've had so the kid's dad, we were together for 12 years.
Never met someone and thought, wow, you've got everything, you.
I don't think so. I think part of me, maybe I just didn't give myself a chance for that. Maybe things from the past have kind of not let me find everything in everyone. But then...
Do you mean your whole mosaic thing? You said a minute ago, right? We're a mosaic of everyone we've ever met.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I also think sometimes we meet people that encourage versions of us that aren't necessarily helpful, right? Aren't the best versions of us. And then we can decide to become our worst impulses because they felt good, right? And if you've got 5 different people, that all, just using 5 as an example, by the way, I'm not saying you're shagging the Power Rangers.
5 guys.
Yeah, literally 5 guys. If you've got 5 different people, right, and one of them, it's basically like having the 7 dwarfs, isn't it? But there's 5, right? And they're all giving you a different thing. Do you believe that we look for partners that give us what we can't give ourselves? As I do. When we're insecure, when we're not whole as a person, right? We go and we do this thing that I've coined puzzle love, right? Where we look for someone to fill just this little crack. Mm. And we don't look for what else they have to offer, really. We just look for how they give us that.
Yep.
Anything else is a bonus. If you've got multiple partners, right? They're all giving you, let's say one person gives you intimacy, one person gives you a massive cock, one person feeds you, right? Whatever, right? Is that because you can't do any of that yourself?
No, because I wouldn't have 5 partners. I am me. I sort my own shit out. And then there may be people around that who add things to my life. But everything that I need, whether that is the food, the massive cock.
So would they not be partners?
No, that's I wouldn't have a partner, a romantic and intimate partner.
So when you say non-monogamy,
yep.
What are they if they're not your partners?
So for me, at this stage, I would like people to go on cute little dates with and occasionally have those like snuggly nights on the sofa, but I don't want to go down that relationship pathway.
Okay, so they're still taking the role of a romantic partner, even with no name,
with
no note to it.
I don't think it's too dissimilar to friendships.
No, but at the same time, your friendships, your people closest to you bring 9 times out of 10 what you can't bring to yourself if you haven't got a secure attachment to yourself. For example, you might be a quiet person, make friends with someone who's a bit more gobby because they're a protector. You might be a gobby person, makes friends with someone that's a bit more down to earth, intellectually based, so they can give you more logic. You know, we always, as humans, got really good at outsourcing what we can't give ourselves.
To an extent, that comes back to everything being transactional, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. What we haven't got, what can I offer this person, what can they offer me?
Yeah. So would you not say that if you need numerous partners in non-monogamy, it's because there's numerous things within you that you haven't worked on?
I don't need numerous partners.
Okay.
I don't need any men in that like
don't need any
boyfriendy sense. I like to have people in my life the way that people like company and companionship and that sort of thing. And there will be times when I'm wanting something different, if that makes sense. Like, you hear about like cuffing season. It gets to like those cold dark months and I'm like, it'd be nice to have someone to snuggle with.
Then you find yourself a cuddly one.
Which is fine because they know that I might not want to cuddle them after this, if that makes sense. So it might be cuddly, but then if spring rolls around and I don't want to be cuddled anymore, they're not going, but I'm your cuddle person, get back here and cuddle me. Or I've not seen you for ages, come and see me. Because if I don't want that thing, I won't reach out to that person. And as long as everyone knows that,
and you're controlling it, so you're the one that reaches out.
Yeah, or I'll communicate back when they reach out.
And say what? So say they reached out to you after cuffing season. They were like, hey, fancy some more cuffing, good looking. What would you say?
I don't think I've ever had someone that long term
Really?
For it to kind of be like transitional.
What about
like
your kid's dad? Was he not long term?
Oh, but that was very different. That was the 12 years. And that was...
So this has all come about after that?
Yeah, so
right.
We explored BDSM and stuff together. We split up. And then after that, I kind of was like, ethical non-monogamy, and like, what do I actually want from people? Where do I want to go with this?
That's a great. So after the 12 years, that's when you decided I want to do escorting, I want to do ethical non-monogamy.
It was a gradual process. So we tried the open relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I met a few people when we were still together, and then...
Did he as well? No.
But then that ended, and it just progressed from there. So the sexual exploration and the sort of body acceptance and stuff fed into the BDSM, which fed into the escorting, and then ethical non-monogamy is also part of that as well, because if I'm going and having sex with other people, then I'm not monogamous.
Think you ever would settle down again?
Even the way you say settle down makes it sound sad. Do you think, would I live somewhere and have mail addressed to Mr. and Mrs. or something? No.
Do you reckon if you did get a partner in the future, how soon would you tell them that you're an escort?
I'm pretty open with it. So if I meet someone and we're going to go on a date, I'll tell them beforehand.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even wait till you're on the date?
No, because I'll be like, hello, this is me. These are my 2 limits. Are you okay with these things?
Well, straight away?
Not straight away, but in...
Good morning. Would you like your rodded penis?
Well, you get chatting about like life and work and jobs and I don't tend to hold things back. But also people that I tend to meet are maybe more in that kink community, in that BDSM space. And there is a lot more polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, communication. There's a lot of people in the BDSM world who will have what they call play partners.
Okay.
So you might go to these events and do these specific things with people, and they're a play partner and friend.
I would fall in love with everyone. That's the problem.
No.
I would be that knob that texts everyone, be like, text you back, please.
Love you. Definitely, I guess in the start, thinking back to the first person I met once I'd opened the marriage, probably I was limit as fuck with him.
Did you have all the limerence? Were you just like, oh my God, you are my soulmate?
There was, so because I still had a husband then and there was still a very happy home life, there wasn't like the desire to like run off with him or anything, but he was
your escape.
It was that phone check-in, that thing of like, why isn't he messaging?
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that's quite a long time ago, and I don't think...
Why did that end? I'm so nosy. I'm so sorry.
Why did that end?
Why did that end?
I think it didn't even end because it wasn't a thing to end. We just things just happen. Life happens. I think COVID probably happened. We didn't see each other for a bit. His primary relationship changed. We still talk. We've not seen each other. If he messaged me and was like, oh, do you want to go do this kinky rope event? Yeah, because I like doing those things with him. Doesn't have to be in your life. A relationship doesn't have to last forever to be successful.
I get that. What is success anyway?
Well, to some people, it's like just being together forever and having double graveyard plots in it and being together for all eternity.
I'd argue, right? I've been chasing someone for about 6 lives now. So far, so good. How would you... So obviously we're in a very dynamic society at the moment. I'd say that's, it's a good thing. We're becoming more open-minded towards people's thoughts, feelings and emotions. Would you say there are limits though? When does it get ridiculous?
So for me, I'd say if everyone knows and everyone's consenting, then it's fine. I guess when it gets ridiculous is if you've got people who feel like they're consenting, but maybe they're not. So if you've got a bloke or a relationship and they open it and one of them wants to have 18 different partners and the other one's like, oh, I don't really want that, but I'll make him happy. That's not, not consenting. So in that situation, that's not okay. But there might be someone who wants an amount of different people in their lives. And if everyone's okay with that and everyone is consenting, then I think it's fine.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Did your ex-partner ever say to you, like, what are you doing for work now?
He knows what I do.
I get that, but is he ever like, what the fuck, Rachel? Like,
No, he thinks it's weird. We don't talk about it in great detail.
Okay.
And to begin with, so I just started off just doing the dominatrix stuff.
okay, yeah.
And then it moved into escorting, which
What is escorting?
some people would say it's anything where you're providing a sexual service.
Okay.
But then the dominatrix stuff is a sexual service. And then you get into that conversation of like, well, what is sex?
I tried to be a dominatrix once.
How did that go?
Well, it wasn't like on a professional level. Me and this lad that I was dating tried to do some pegging,
Okay.
and I just wasn't very good at it. I
Thing
don't
is,
think.
you can peg someone without being a dominatrix.
No, I
or
was
without
trying to be
being
a
dominant.
dominatrix.
Okay.
I was saying some mad shit. Trust me, I was saying some mad shit, and it happened twice. And then I think he was just like, let's just never do that again because you're not very good at that.
Did he enjoy the physical sensation of pegging though?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like the end of the relationship, and I was trying to like spice it up because we met young.
Don't want a relationship to fail, do
No,
you?
we
Can't have
met.
it ending.
That's it. We met young, so it was one of them where I was like, "How can we fix this? Let's put someone in your bum." Right person, wrong time. Do you know what I mean?
Did he douche?
Right person, wrong peg. Yeah, he did
Right peg,
actually.
wrong hole.
He did actually. He actually spent quite a while in the shower beforehand, which was actually
Oh.
off-putting for me because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah, but if you didn't do it, that's going to be more. Trust me, it's more off-putting. When
I
because
dunno,
you smell
mate.
it before you see it. I am fairly desensitized to
Poo.
bodily fluids and stuff. I think like being a carer, having kids, doing the midwifery, like I've sieved like shit out of a birthing pool. So then shit on a condom, on a strap-on. I mean, it's all shit. I don't know. But I do. There's obviously loads of things that feed into like how the fuck I got to this stage.
I think I'd love to pick your brain forever, but we've only got an hour. But I think it's something that's so interesting because obviously it is the oldest female profession.
Yep.
It is something that people have monopolised now to turn into an online sort of like mass market. But we forget it's the grassroots shit, innit? Do you have OnlyFans?
No.
Have you ever had OnlyFans?
I tried it for a little bit, but it's a lot harder work. So if I'm working, I have my website or profile set up. People will book. I'll turn up for the hour or two, and then I leave.
Yeah.
And I do little bits of promotion in between on like whatever sites.
Website, yeah.
Put up a few pictures. So if I'm working and I'm all dressed up, I'll take some pictures. I'll put them up, and that's it. With OnlyFans, there's such a saturated market. And you have to be on it all the time. And also, I like the physical connection.
Yeah.
There's more back and forth with someone. I enjoy some of the hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
And I think with OnlyFans, I think it's a lot harder to sell yourself if you are just a few pixels on a screen.
Mm. What's one thing you reckon people probably misunderstand about being an escort?
I think people think it's only like really hot young women or really desperate people, or that it's quite often not a choice. And I think people also forget that the blokes are really normal people as well.
Yeah.
They're really normal blokes.
Yeah, you know, that's
it's
a good
not
point,
some
that.
guy in like a flasher Mac who's like just spends all his time in a dirty basement wanking. It's really normal people who are
Dirty basement wanking,
yeah.
man.
They're either a bit lonely, they've got this weird kink they want to explore. Maybe they just want to tick some shit off their bucket list, because you do get people who will, I want to try this, I want to try this, I want to be with this kind of girl, I want to be with this kind of girl, I want to try fake boobs, I like a big ass. Like, so sometimes you get that as well, but they're very normal people.
What's the weirdest thing someone's asked you to do?
There was a guy who wanted me to have, so he was a Muslim, he wanted me to have sex with him on his prayer mat and say awful things about Allah and his mum.
Oh.
That's not something that I engage with. So we met, we did some humiliation stuff, but it wasn't around his religion, his ethnicity, and definitely not his mum, because that's weird.
Leave
Your
mum
mum's
out
probably
of
a
it.
lovely person.
Leave mum out of it. At least he brought you into this world.
Yeah. But I don't know, funniest thing, trying to find a private outdoor space, because I've got a guy who wants to be a puppy for an afternoon.
Puppy.
Yeah, so
Right,
he's going to be naked.
me.
He's going to wear a little butt plug. We're going to play fetch.
You're going to play fucking
we're
what?
going to play fetch. So I'll throw a fucking
Am I
dog
kink
toy.
shaming if I'm not all right with that?
No.
Because I'm not all right with that.
I guess when you say you're not all right with it, As in, it's not for you.
As in, it
or
makes
what
me
the
feel
fuck, why
very
do people do
fucking
that?
uncomfortable. Like that,
Which
the
bit of it?
idea of a gentleman wanting to pretend he's a dog in public.
No, not in public.
Oh.
No. No, so that's why I need a private garden.
Oh.
I don't do anything in public because the wider public aren't consenting to be involved in this kink.
No.
The only things that I would say get remotely public is if I've got someone like locked in chastity, I'll wear the key on a necklace and I'll take photos when I'm out and about with the key. But to the wider public, they don't know that it's a key that's got some guy's cock locked up. But no, nothing in public.
I'm never going to look at a key necklace the same now.
Yeah.
No.
And if there's multiple keys, she's probably professional.
Really?
Yeah.
Madness. Why didn't you bring the keys, man?
I've not got anyone at the minute.
That's so crazy. What's the most romantic thing someone's asked you to do?
Sometimes they like to provide like a really romantic experience. So they'll be like, let me buy you chocolates and let me buy you this. And they'll set up a bedroom with rose petals and candles and shit. And they want me to go in it and be like, oh my God, this is a wonderful, like romantic honeymoon type experience kind of thing. There's that romantic thing.
So that's like almost like they're trying to replay their wedding day or something.
I think maybe it's some people that aren't ever going to get that and they want that. And
oh no.
Yeah. Or maybe they are trying to replay the wedding day. Yeah. But going back to the puppy thing, I was going to say
I tried to get off that.
Oh.
No, it's all right, go on.
What I like about that is, okay, you want to be a puppy. Why do you want to be a puppy? Do you want to be degraded and treated like a dog and made to eat out of bowl and stuff?
I'm ringing the fucking RSPCA.
Or do you want to be like my precious special pet who
Cocker
I will
spaniel.
fuss and give little treats and stuff like that? So you kind of need to know what people want from it. It's not enough to say I want to be pegged. It's more of a, how do you want to be pegged? Do you want me to make love to your arsehole? Or do you want to be fucking pegged? Pounded?
Do you want to be fucking pegged?
Yeah. Do you want me to degrade you while you're doing it? Do you want to be humiliated? Do you want it to be this very intimate,
sensual thing?
Yeah. And I can do both.
Wow, get you a girl who can do both.
Yeah.
Do you never like think of saying to them, do you not want to just get like Nintendogs or something?
But this sounds fun. Like, part of me's like, well, why wouldn't you want to get paid to throw a fucking stick for some bloke and he brings it back in his mouth? That's entertaining for me. And I get paid for it.
I can't lie, that does sound entertaining.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, oh my God, you mucky little fucker.
And he'd probably like that.
No, this is mad. Right. What personality types do you reckon are more drawn to being submissive?
I think for some people, it's a really deep people-pleasing kind of, they want to do everything for this one person. There's a lot of devotion and there's a lot of, I want to put everyone else above me. I want to be at the bottom of needs and that sort of thing. For other people, it's an escape. It might be that they've got a lot of pressure or just a lot of stress and they come somewhere and they can just switch their mind off. I have engaged in sort of like submissive things sexually. And for me, I think it's been a little bit of escape. Probably got a praise kink. That's probably
bit of a praise. I do
trauma
like being
thing
told
somewhere.
I'm a good girl. I'm not going to lie. The minute someone says you've been a good girl, I'm like, yes, I have.
But then where does that come from? Like, there's so much. And I wouldn't say being called a good girl is a particularly kinky thing, but it's kind of...
No, it's not. But you bet
into normal
now.
life.
I had a teacher in uni, right? He went, oh, you've done really well, Sara. I had a wido for like an hour. I was like, say it again, sir. Say it again.
Sir.
That was it, yeah. Do you want me to sit on my knees or something? Like, ask nicely, monsieur. Like, no, it's mad, isn't it? Because that is true. We do all have. Oh, I hate the question I'm about to ask.
Ah, there you go. Where are we going?
Do you think your sexual tendencies come primarily from your childhood traumas?
I think most of who you are as a person is shaped by your childhood.
No, I know. I'm trying to avoid the psychology at the moment. I'm throwing my degree out the fucking window at present. I'm going, shit. I like getting smacked because my dad didn't give me enough hula hoops.
So I don't think it's like the guy that wants to be a puppy. I don't think his dog got sent to a farm and now he's fucking traumatised and now he wants to relive that. But I think for a lot of people, what they look for in a partner, and for most people, that is the whole romantic, intimate, sexual package. there will be elements of what didn't you have before? How does that feed into your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe sex is somewhere where people feel a bit freer and they can maybe be a bit more open about those things. I also think people are just fucking weird. Like, it's in a great way, but like wanting to be hurt there's no kind of biological advantage to that, I assume.
There is a neurobiological advantage.
So I know you get like the endorphin thing.
Yeah, if you
and
can
that sort of
tell someone to hurt you, you technically believe you can control the pain.
thing. Okay.
So, I mean, neurobiologically speaking, it would most definitely still increase your cortisol. Getting hurt in any way, shape or form is never totally enjoyable. But at the same time, if it's increasing your adrenaline too, there's very few and far with fine line between excitement and panic. You know what I mean? Fine line between excitement and panic. I think it's like when people they're adrenaline junkies, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like you want that panic, but it looks like excitement. You know, what's the difference? If you feel it in your body, is it a good feeling or just a big one?
Yeah.
You know, I always say that to clients quite a lot of the time when they say they're missing someone, they get that gut feel. Is it a sad feeling or is it just a big one? Like, because if it's just a big feeling, you can omit that. Any chemical reaction can be changed, you know. But maybe you are just a scientist, but a naked scientist.
Naked scientist, part-time counsellor.
My God.
With a good wardrobe.
Everyone's mum.
Not mum.
What is one kink you would say no to? Other than the guy with the prayer mat.
So there's the prayer mat thing, there's the race thing, any age play.
Don't like that.
So that would be some guy, some dominant that will call himself daddy, and he'll have a little girl. And she isn't a little girl, she is a consenting adult woman. But because she is submissive.
Is she a small, do they choose people of small stature?
Not always, no. And
Okay.
and daddy isn't always some big bloke. Daddy might be like a little accountant, and his baby girl might be some big, like, it's not a physical thing, and they're not drawn to each other for the most part because of those physical things. It's a
mental thing.
Yeah, and it's the submissive thing of I can switch off, this person will look after me. And the dominant thing of this person trusts me, this person feels safe with me. But
that's sort of like your boyfriend carrying your bags through the airport.
Maybe. Yeah. So his or their or her little, as they're called, generally will just be looked after. And that's fine because that power exchange feeds into a lot of play. But then if you add those titles to it, mummy and daddy, for me that's an issue. But then it's very, very normal for women to call a guy daddy during sex. It's becoming more normalised.
I would have to fucking disagree.
Would you?
Yeah.
Maybe I just am weird people, but
yeah, no, I'd have to disagree.
Okay.
I think it's becoming less normalised for a woman to call a guy daddy because everyone's becoming more aware,
I think,
psychologically, of what that means.
Last year or so maybe, but I think up until then it was an increase, and now that we're kind of like, oh, actually paedophiles do run the world, and the goal isn't to appear as young and youthful as whatever. No. We're kind of stepping back from that.
You ever had a guy that came to you for like daddy play or whatever and you thought, yeah, you're definitely a non-Jew?
I haven't seen things from other women.
Do they report them?
I don't know if you could you report someone for saying, because they're not asking them to be a child.
If they suggest enough. I mean, as human beings, we have this wonderful thing called discernment, don't we? Where we can actually pick up what someone's putting down, even if they haven't fully put it in the basket yet. And if someone was suggesting, like, I want you to behave like a little girl, I probably would think, well, you're actually more than likely a nonce.
Yeah, I think something like that, that's that blatant, then, yeah, that would be fine.
Have you ever had anyone come to you and want you to pretend to be their mum?
No.
I thought that would be quite a big thing, because half the lads I've dated, they've got proper mummy fetishes, I swear to you.
No, sometimes I'll get that, like, oh, you're a MILF. And I'm like, oh, that's icky.
Oh, really? So they've never called you mummy or anything?
No.
I had a guy call me mummy during sex once.
How was that?
Awful.
It's not.
Didn't enjoy it. I said, what the fuck have you just said?
But I do think with that power exchange thing that often comes with those titles, the power exchange itself isn't an issue, again, if everyone's consenting. But to me, those titles are not.
What kind of personality types more go for the submissive, do you reckon? Is it like the people that are really successful? Is it like the weedy little fucks? What do you reckon?
That are attracted to submissive types.
No, that are being submissive.
I don't think there's a type in the people that I've seen. I think there's people who, like I say, want that escapism because they are maybe a very type A person in real life. And then you have other people who it's not about the escape, it's about the people pleasing.
Anyone that I have dated in the past, right, not even like slept with, I mean like dated, just got to know, whatever, has been particularly, let's say, successful in their career. So they've been like an aspiring rapper who happens to be doing well, or like a football player who's doing well, or like something like that. They have all wanted a very submissive sort of sex life.
They wanted to be submissive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at first they've been like, yeah, I'm the boy. Do you know what I mean? I'm the boy.
Yeah.
But then they've been like, the minute you grab them, that's it. Start flailing like a little floppy fish, don't they? Go all weird.
I think gender roles feed into it a lot. There is a lot of things that men, especially now with like the manosphere and like the ultra masculine, I'm the man, I'm dominant. And I think that in most heterosexual relationships where there is any element of like rough sex or that sort of thing, it is generally from the male to the female. You don't hear about men being dangerously choked, but you hear about women being dangerously choked. And I think that comes from men and the patriarchy and everything feeding into this alpha male dominant protector thing. And then as women, the default is that you're then the more submissive one. But I think in a healthy BDSM based or kink based relationship, there's a lot of communication.
Okay.
And it will always be more than just rough sex. So you have discussions around it, and there's always boundaries and safe words, and it's a very healthy, if everyone's consenting, very healthy way to approach sex if you are wanting those rough kind of things.
What do you reckon you've learned about human nature from your job?
That it's fucking fascinating.
Fucking scary, innit?
Scary, bizarre, and that things can just come out in so many different ways, because how do you get to the stage where you're like, yeah, I want someone to put a metal rod down my cock and electrocute it? Like, things are...
How much adrenaline have you chased to get to this chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing, isn't it? I sometimes feel that way about my clients when they're completely broken. And they come to me like at rock bottom. Obviously, it's the other end of the spectrum. No one's got a rod up the cock. Do you know what I mean? But I think, how many times have you been kicked before you decided to get back up and get on the phone and say like, hey, I need some help? I suppose when someone's sat in your chair or on your bed and they're wanting some mad stuff done to them, there's got to be that moment where you think, when did you decide you wanted to do this? Yeah,
and also like, what's the psychology behind it? There was one guy who wanted to be crucified.
Pardon you?
I mean, we didn't engage in it. He wanted to be like nailed to a cross with a crown of thorns. And I didn't entertain it, but I'm like, what fucking fucked up Catholic school did you go to? What is behind this?
Religious psychosis is going on there?
Yeah.
Did he actually think he was Jesus?
No.
What did he say? Like, what was the conversation?
It was a very brief message. He was like, and I didn't engage with it. But he was like, I would like to be crucified. I want this to involve like full nails through my hands, crown of thorns, flogging, all this stuff. I mean, there's no safe way to do those things. So
no,
obviously
that would
it's not
be
going to be
impaling someone.
Yeah.
Important thing I want to bring up with you today, right? So obviously kink websites are really normal in your life. I can't really say I go on them that much, not gonna lie. But I'm just a banana the best of times. Like, I'm the plainest thing in that fruit bowl. Like, don't you worry. So I'm not judging. But there was a lady called Sonia Exaby, right, from Portsmouth. And she went all the way to the US off a kink website to meet this geezer who killed her. From what I can gather from what is like public, information within the media, she'd been communicating with him, and she discussed how she would like him to obviously murder her. But she had booked a return flight home. Now, some people would speculate and say, well, maybe that's so she didn't look sus to authorities because it's hard to get into the US, obviously. But you also have to state why you're travelling.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe that was her get out of jail free card. I wish I had a better phrase to use than that. Do you know what I mean? But others said, she has been manipulated. What would you say? What would your opinion be coming from the sex work industry?
I feel like that's so far removed from sex work. It just seems like a very unwell, vulnerable person.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Because that was off a kink website.
But that's not a kink. You can't...
because it was off a kink website, they played it up in the papers, especially as it was consented murder.
Yeah.
You know, they've discussed this first. Have you ever?
But you can't consent to something like that.
You can't. I thought that.
The law in the UK is that you can't consent to anything that would be classed as ABH or GBH, which makes it a very grey area, because if someone wants to come and get whipped, which I don't do, but then that theoretically could be classed as ABH, or I think it'd be ABH.
Would it? Well, why would it? Would it not be GBH, grievous bodily harm?
Oh, was it grievous?
Yeah.
What's actual?
I
don't know. Where's the limit?
You'd be whacking them, wouldn't you?
Okay.
Constantly.
I don't know much about like the definitions with them.
So neither do I. I've not a clue. You're fine.
You are doing something that you can't legally consent to. So if I had someone and they were like, I want to be spanked. Okay, well, I do like my risk.
Do you have a waiver?
No, because it wouldn't stand up anyway.
Oh.
So if someone then went to the police and said, this woman has assaulted
Stuck a metal rod in me knob.
Yeah, or assaulted me or whatever, then that would probably go down a criminal route to an extent. Now, there's always loads of communication and stuff. There's nothing where I coerce people to do things. The law is kind of outdated, because also if a partner spanks another partner, it's also ABH, whether they're being paid or not. Like it would still be the same kind of thing. But yeah, you can't consent to murder. That's madness.
Have you ever seen anything like that on the kink websites?
No.
Never seen anything where people are like, I want someone to stab me or whatever? No.
There's extreme pain stuff, but I think a lot of that, what's extreme to one person isn't to another. And
Spectrum, subjective, yeah.
And I do think people do kind of chase more and more and more, and things do sometimes get to an extreme point where irreversible damage can be done. Like people that take like very big anal toys. Beyond a certain point, the muscles aren't going to go back and you're going to get anal prolapse. But no one starts off with a monster fucking cock. It will escalate. So...
Do you reckon a lot of these porn stars have got anal prolapse and shit then? Wearing nappies and that?
I don't know, to be honest, but I do... The human body can only take so much.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I have often wondered, because one of my mates, they're very open. She's too open with us in the group chat as well. We're like, no, shut up, right? And,
Meet my breakfast.
Yeah, she did a fair bit of sex work, and like, no disrespect to her, but she weren't very good at it, because she ended up getting with one of her clients. They're still together now 4 years later, and she don't do it anymore.
She's got something from it.
That's it. So actually, arguably, she was really good at it. So really good at her job, she got her husband out of it. But she used to do cam girl work, and she used to put stuff up her bum. And we all used to have this ongoing joke when we went to hers, like, oh, have you put this up your bum then? You know, like, whatever was like on the table in front of us.
Like, it's just a bit of a smelly pepper grinder.
Yeah, you'd have a lamp next to you, oh, you put this up your bum then? You know, like, because she used to put all sorts of stuff up her bum. And I've asked her before, like, have you ever had any comeuppance from, like, the stuff you put up your bum? And she's like, no, absolutely fine.
Okay.
Do you reckon she's lying?
Paul, I don't know. Because I think, like, extreme is, I mean... Whilst the human body can only take so much, the human body is also capable of a lot. Getting a fist up there isn't that hard with the right encouragement.
Right, ETO.
But putting up a fucking, I'm looking around for something massive and girthy. There's some stuff that is just going to do damage.
This? Not girthy enough.
No. It's got a lot of sharp bits as well.
Pillow?
Pillow? How are you going to get a pillow up there?
I don't know, I think you'd fucking manage it.
It'd be like thumbing it in, wouldn't it?
Thumbing it in? Come here while I thumb this pillow in your bum.
Yeah, because it'll be all soft and...
You're going to get a message after this podcast goes out, you know. You know that pillow thing? Really into that, you know.
I'll charge extra for pillow stuff. Bring your own.
Bring your own
Bring your own pillow, yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? I think you're right, though. I don't think you can consent to that. I just thought it was interesting to bring it up with you, because there was so much of a discussion all over social media of people going, well, if she signed up for it, and then there's other people going, how the fuck can you sign up for that?
No.
It's not a subscription. Do you know what I mean?
So I was listening to a podcast about a guy who chopped off balls and penises for people who were like, they wanted to be eunuchs. and he was like providing this service from a fucking flat in North London. So he is in prison and he was charged because you can't consent to something like that.
You can't consent to getting your cock and bollocks cut off. No.
So then she can't consent to being murdered.
Fair point.
Yeah. Got a client who's got a parrot, and that was doing the Jet2 holiday thing for the whole hour, just repeating it. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday.
What were you doing for the hour?
I was electrocuting him. I say electrocuting, it's basically a fancy tens machine. I'm not wiring up people up to like a fucking car battery.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Oh! Yeah. No, I think what you do for work is insane, but in like such an interesting way. Because
it's not for everyone.
It's not, but it is for some people.
Yeah. I think if you are maybe the right kind of broken, that you can compartmentalise things a bit.
Does the compartmentalisation of it not scare you though?
I've always compartmentalised, and it
the
probably
point.
is not healthy.
That is a trauma response.
But it's where I am, and now I'm making it work for me.
That is a trauma response.
And maybe I will kind of be at a stage where I'm like, actually, this isn't serving me. I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll even look back and think, oh, I wish I hadn't done some bits.
That is a trauma response.
But that's life, innit?
No.
Is it not?
No,
okay.
Not everything that you do in life you have to look back on. People see life funny, right? They see it as like, it's a line to where you get to the best version of you. No. It's not. You can't just look back and hate everything you've done.
It's a picking things up along the way.
Yeah,
and gathering these experiences
is not the enemy.
I enjoy what I do. I
Yeah?
like talking about it. I like to laugh about the fun things.
You ever met anyone in your industry that's an absolute cunt?
So it can be hard to meet people. The law says that 2 sex workers can't share a space.
What?
Yeah, because then it's classed as a brothel.
Oh, well, we're fucked then. I just don't charge.
So the law is... So I can't work with people. There's like online message boards and stuff. You can chat with people, but you can't work with someone.
Do you have a group chat?
There are group chats. I'm not in them because my work phone, I only turn it on every few days, and then it's like you've got like hundreds of people in there and it's too much and I just ignore it. But yeah, there are group chats around and stuff online and stuff.
Is there anyone you know in your industry that is actually ridiculously horrible in real life and is doing this job just because they want to punish people because they're a psychopath?
No. I've seen people in the kink community, not professionally, who have thought, you're in this for the wrong reason. You're in this to hurt people.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because for some people, I think it can, for some dangerous people and a very small minority, they see someone consenting to a painful thing as an invitation to then push it too far. But then it comes down to the consent thing. If you're putting someone in a position where they can't consent to something, you're abusive and therefore should be dealt with accordingly.
But do you reckon most people that get into the sex industry have been taken advantage and are trying to, as you said before, empower themselves, get one back in a way?
I think when it comes to things like taking advantage, then I feel like there's elements of that of like, there's definitely been times where I've been in positions where I've been taken advantage of, as like 19, 20, getting with guys that I didn't really like, that sort of thing. Sometimes people conflate that with being taken advantage and pimped out or trafficked, and that's not sex work. That's abuse.
That's abuse, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole separate legal issue that I'm always quite keen to like make people aware of.
Have you seen much of that in your career?
Not in my career. I've done volunteer work with supporting other sex workers around my local area, and there have been people there who have maybe come to it through very difficult or awful circumstances. People trying to survive in a very vulnerable, difficult situation. It's not sex work. It's not me being registered self-employed and paying my tax and doing all that stuff. So for me, it's a job. Would
you ever go into the side of the industry that is just protecting those people rather than doing the actual acts? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like every career you've ever been in, including this one, you've been in because you want to make the environment better for people.
Just trying to fix
everything. You're trying to fix everyone. You just want to fix people. And like, even by being the person that they can go to about their most broken bits, like literally broken bits, like that's you fixing them, isn't it?
Yeah, to an extent. I like to say that I provide a safe space for people to come and indulge.
You're not the fairy knob mother.
Oh, I'll take that.
Would you give any of... So let's say we've got someone watching now and they're considering going into sex work. Would you advise them to get into sex work?
I think it's not something that I think should be done until you know yourself a bit. And I think that...
So you would advise them just if they know themselves?
I think if you're thinking about it, then you're either fairly sexually liberated or in a vulnerable financial position.
What about if you're fairly sexually exploited in a vulnerable financial position?
Then I guess unfortunately you can't really fully consent to that, but also you are the adult in your own life.
Would you advise them to get into it, or would you say try everything else first?
I mean, it's not up to me, and I wouldn't want to influence anyone's thing. It can be a really great job for some people. If someone told me to go and get an hourly paid minimum wage job, I'd be pissed off. But it's definitely not right for everyone.
What kind of people would you say it's right for?
People with a good support network. I think it's very, very important. Even if, because not everyone is open about it, understandably, even if you've just got one person in your life who you can be fully open with and can support you, I think that would be important.
Don't jump into sex work because you won't be able to carry the burden, basically.
I think it's a very isolating job in that you can't work with other people. You are doing things that most people don't want to talk about.
Is it risky, do you reckon? Is it super risky?
It can be. You're meeting essentially strangers, going to strangers' houses. But then as a cleaner, you're going to strangers' houses. And I think a lot of the risks towards sex workers specifically come from the stigma of people seeing
the connotations behind
sex worker as you must be lesser than, you must be troubled or in some sort of difficult circumstances, and then they perceive you as perhaps being vulnerable.
Do you think people that aren't troubled and aren't in particular circumstances choose sex work?
Possibly not, probably not. But then I don't know if I know any non-troubled people, because broken people attract broken people, don't they?
That's it. Well, that's the one. I think everyone's got an aspect of trouble in them, haven't they?
Yeah, and I guess part of the things that have happened in my life have got me to a place where sex is easily compartmentalised. If I could go back and maybe not go through those things that got me to this stage. You didn't consent
to go through those things, though. You got to remember that.
But that's it. You kind of work with where you are.
You can't control with where you were at, but you can control where you go forward.
I don't think it's negatively impacting me. I'm
glad.
Yeah.
I'm very glad.
It's positively impacting me.
Shall we read a crying in the DMs out?
Yeah.
Here we are at your favourite part of this episode, which is where I read your real stories that you've sent in to me. I have one story specifically today that I thought would be fantastic for you, okay? This is crying in the DMs, and these are my DMs. Usually I print them out, but I literally forgot my paper, and I'm doing a back-to-back episode today, so I didn't have it for the last one either. Let's read out the worst sock incident.
Okay. Sock incident,
that's what this is called.
Right.
Yeah. So, hi Sara. I went home with this guy after a night out. It was normal, it was fine. At first, it was good vibes. We get back to his place, and the first red flag should have been that his mattress was on the floor and he had a ring light. But anyway. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's giving dungeon.
Yeah.
We start kissing, everything is going fine, and suddenly he stops and says, wait, I need to put something on. I'm thinking, okay, protection, Johnny, responsible king. We love that. This man reaches into the side of the bed and pulls out a single sock. Not a new sock, not a clean sock, a sock that has clearly lived a life.
Just sock.
He put the sock on his... No, I've read that wrong. He put the sock on his foot.
On his foot? Yeah. Right.
So now I'm lying there trying to be in the moment while this man is standing there like a half-dressed pirate. I said to him, why haven't you got one sock on? He said, I just perform better with one sock. Anyway, we continue, and halfway through he stops, looks very serious and says, wait, don't move, I think I've pulled something. And I'm lying there thinking, how have you injured yourself doing the bare minimum? So now I'm sitting on a stranger's floor at 1:30 in the morning while he's stretching his hamstring with one sock on and a ring light, watching us like we're filming a hostage video. I got an Uber home and he texted me the next day saying, have a good time. We had a great time. We should finish what we started. Finish what? Felt like a fucking physio appointment. Please help me.
I think the fact that he's got undressed, presumably taken off his two socks, and then got out this special sex sock.
Special sex sock, yeah.
What is it? It sounds like a specific
It sounded
sock.
like a special sex sock, yeah. She said it was used.
used? Does he? I mean, I thought it was a jizz sock. Does he just wear it for fucking? Is it always
sounds
on
like
one leg?
It sounds like he's got one sock on during the smash.
I think it's the. I mean, I don't mind the sock thing so much. I wonder why. Did he just have a mind-blowing orgasm once, realised he
With
had
the
one
sock
sock on and was like, this is it, this is my fucking
You know what
thing.
I reckon's happened? He's had an ex-girlfriend that he's driven fucking insane. And she's coerced him into putting this sock on every time, just so every girl he gets with afterwards, he just makes a cunt of himself with this sock. She's like, you know what? You slam me so much better with that dirty Nike sock on.
Fucking
And now every girl he gets with, he's like, fuck, I need the sock of death. Gets the sock out just so we can kill a bitch.
Or he's been with someone and their dog's come up and like licked his foot during it. It's really thrown him. But then you'd put two socks on, wouldn't you?
You put two socks on. Or a boot. An Ugg boot. Imagine if you had your sex Ugg boot.
Sex boots.
Your sex boot, but just one.
Just one.
Excuse me, got to go put on my Ugg boot.
And is it always the same foot? I've got so many questions.
It's anonymous, so
She
I can't even
sounds-
follow up.
I mean, it sounds like it wasn't for her.
Do you want another one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another one.
I'm still a bit on the sock though.
Still a little bit on the sock.
I have heard that women are more likely to orgasm with socks on because if you've got cold feet, it can be a distraction and then your brain's not as engaged.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was at this guy's house the first time and everything was going well. You know when things are going suspiciously smoothly and you know something bad is going to happen to you, which could personally knock you off. Oh, bless her.
Looking for the bad stuff.
Stop looking for the worst things, even though it sounds like they actually came. We were kissing, we were on the bed. We suddenly realised I need to go to the bathroom. It's not optional. It is level code red. It's an emergency. It's a poo. I go in there and I realise one or two things. The bathroom light is one of those lights that turns on with a fan that sounds like a helicopter, and the walls are thin, very thin. So I'm now in this man's bathroom sitting there while the extractor fan is announcing my business to the entire property. By the way, it's a shared house.
Oh no.
Then the worst thing happens. There is no toilet paper. There is not even a cardboard tube. I'm looking around this man's bathroom. I'm on a survival show. There is a towel, but I'm not a criminal. There are cotton pads, but I'm not wiping my life away with this fucking skincare that probably belongs to one of the girls that lives in the shared house. So I sit there for 10 minutes pretending I'm doing a really long, thoughtful wee trying to figure out my escape plan. Eventually, I unlock the door and walk out and he goes, everything okay? You were there a while. I panicked and said, needed a minute for myself. He's like, a minute to yourself. I then couldn't control my mouth and
Has
told
she
him
not
my
wiped?
nana just died.
So she's not wiped.
No,
She's
literally talking shit and covered in shit as she leaves this room.
I just thought I need to get out of here. Right.
Yeah.
Poor Nan.
See, I couldn't control my mouth. I told him my nana just died. He started sobbing uncontrollably and told me he'd only lost his nan a week ago.
Oh God.
I had to sit with shit all over my arse on his bed as we traded stories about our dead nans. Mine was still alive. In fact, I got a taxi straight to hers after this.
Oh no.
Fucking hell!
Bless her. Right.
Woo.
First of all, everyone shits. And I feel like if you can't say to someone, you've got no bog roll, don't be having sex with them.
Fucking
If you
fair
can't
point.
be open enough with that,
Fair
don't let them
point.
inside you. God, there's so much to unpack. I don't think I could exit a bathroom with an I'd find something.
I'd shower at me. I'd go and put my bum over the tap in the bath.
Like
Done
a
that
bidet,
before.
little bidet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be using the towel before I leave with a shitty arse. And then the ground thing. Bless.
Why did you dob your nan in?
I mean, I have a dead relative. Sounds really bad. If I need an excuse, you use someone that's already passed, don't you? You don't use someone that's still alive. Is that really bad?
No, it makes sense. And anyone that says you haven't done it, you're lying.
Yeah. Bless her. I mean, I feel so many things. Shocked, slightly disgusted, bad for him and his gran a week before.
It's a
And also,
shame.
she can't leave then, can she?
No.
If he's opening up about this,
I mean, she said they sat on the bed while she had like fresh poo on her bum and they were talking about their nans for like an hour.
It was definitely easier to just say, can you get some toilet roll?
So much easier to go, will you pop the Aldi, please? Covered in poo. I've just had to shower myself off. I would have just got a shower at that point. It would have been so much less weird to just go and throw yourself in the
Yeah, and just
shower.
be like, I'm
And
gonna
I'd have
clean
come
up
back in the
before.
room and I'd have played it as if I've just been a sexy, waterlogged wildebeest.
But then do you want to be getting in a shared, first time she's gone back, a shower in a shared house? It's a lot to navigate.
I would have done it rather than walk out with poo on my bum.
I'd have wiped my bum on the towel and left.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Just left.
I'd have taken the towel, I think.
Two different people, aren't we? You'd have been like, I would just wipe my bum. I'm like, I would start an entire 6-month relationship with this
Wash
person.
my hair,
Yeah.
shave my legs.
I'd wash my hair, I'd walk back in the room, I'd give the time of his life, all just so I could wipe my bum.
But you got to check before you commit. Got to check the toilet bowl. Always.
I live on the edge.
That's scary.
In fact, I have been known to go between cubicles with my fucking arse out in toilets before. I swear to you.
No, I'm prepared. I was one of those dickheads that in nightclubs I would take like extra toilet roll and put it in my bag.
Oh, see, I would just
at the end
take
of the night,
loads
there
of
was no
coke.
toilet roll. Oh, fair. You're not going to shit then, are you?
No. Well, I mean, I have shit outside numerous times. I went through a really big spiritual phase. I used to shit outside.
They're not related. That's just fucking weird.
No.
It's not spiritual. You're just a dirty bitch.
Yeah. I used to say it was an offering. Oh, you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Rachel. You are such an interesting person. And I genuinely mean that, not in the bitchy way where people go, oh, you're interesting. Yeah, no, I mean
you're
it
unusual.
like, genuinely, you're very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people will get a lot from this because it's not something, you can't randomly go and speak to a sex worker and be like, what's your day-to-day look like? Yeah. And also, what childhood trauma got you here? And have you ever shoved a rod up someone's cock? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is interesting shit that people are going to watch. If you had one thing that you want to finish on, one bit of advice that you want to give to someone watching this, what would it be?
If you can't wash behind your foreskin, go to a fucking doctor, right? It is normal to be able to pull it back. There's been a few people and they don't realise that they should be cleaning behind it. So yeah, that's my PSA.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Good night, God bless.